Hi guys, it's reaction time. It's just gone 6:30 in the morning. It's really early, so everyone's asleep upstairs. I'm here doing reactions because it's Saturday. There's loads to do. I mean, I've got a list in front of me that is ridiculous, honestly ridiculous. But we're going to start off with Guns N' Roses. I mean, so my stance with Guns N' Roses is I stick up for them when I need to, but I also get disappointed a lot. So, I mean, the debut album for me was probably the best debut album ever recorded, but I literally, and it's my own fault, I can't listen to it anymore, and the radio's fault and everyone else's fault for overplaying that album too much. I literally can't listen to Appetite for Destruction anymore, maybe apart from a couple of songs. I think everything else they've had after is way more disappointing than anything that was on Appetite for Destruction. And then even recently, they're bringing out songs that were from Chinese Democracy, didn't make it on Chinese Democracy, which are like, is it 15 years old or more? So, you know, for them not to bring out any new music, even though the band had been back together a long time now, and obviously charging a ridiculous amount for people to go and see them, and doing these stadium tours, but not to bring new music out it's a shame and a bit of a piss take, really. I mean, when we actually look at the last two singles, Absurd was one of the most ridiculous songs I've ever heard. Hard School was pretty good, actually. But you still got to remember, these are not now. These songs ain't been written now, which is really shit. So we're on to the new one, which is called Perhaps. And the longer time goes by and the longer they don't make music, it winds me up even more. I've been sticking up for them as well on the live stuff. You know, the Glastonbury situation. You know, Axl was running around and stuff, and, you know, and these other bands at Glastonbury who stand still and just fucking, like, don't put on a show whatsoever. It must be the most boring thing ever. At least they give it a bit of effort. Axl's voice, yeah, has, you know, slowly gone downhill over the last few years. But I did stick up for them during that time. I said, you know what I mean? They're running around, they're not young anymore, but they can produce new music. But I digress. We get on to Perhaps. I don't know what to expect anymore out of Guns N' Roses, but here we go. This is Guns N' Roses and Perhaps.
Perhaps I was wrong when I didn't see you. Perhaps I was wrong when I don't believe you. But I wanna know how it feels, or what it is to be you. I've been so upset. I've been in this hate for days. My sense of rejection, there's no excuse for my behavior. You pulled the gun, that shot I crucified my savior. Now is no more, and I'm without you, just like I was before. The way I used to be. Wanna wait upon your shoulders that you don't need. My heart bleeds for me. Like a more than a bargain for. You're all alone now. You were not about the others, you were fighting for. You're all alone. Sold out to the ones that you wanted. You're all alone now. You used to be a little crazy, now there's so much more. You're
Oh God, the cat's moaning. Sounds like Axl, actually. Wow. Anyway, well, Axl sounds pretty good in this. But then again, what am I hearing? Am I hearing Axl from over 15 years ago? And am I hearing him now? What was recorded back then? What's recorded now? So, I mean, I think again, I'm talking going back to Appetite here. Appetite not only was one of the best rock albums ever recorded and the best debut album ever recorded, it is also the album that made me hate Axl's voice. Not hate it, sorry, that's a bit of a strong word, but it get on my nerves a bit. You know, all the whining and stuff that he does. And I know that was part of it back then, and it was exciting and it was new because we was at the end of the 80s and there was nothing like it. But over time, hearing his voice, it's sort of, you know, I don't mind it when he sings in that deeper range, but when he starts that wow, how's it go, Vamp? Vamp, how's it go? Ah, he didn't do it then. It sort of, it gets to you a little bit. You know what I mean? And he starts to grate on you, and it did that actually early on, Use Your Illusion. It started to grate on me then. This sounds like something that is, you know, especially the chorus, sounds like something that would maybe come off of Use Your Illusion, I would say. I don't really like the song. I think it's, you know, when you're talking hard school, that song, at least they tried a little bit. They tried to give you a bit of rock and roll. Do you know what I mean? It gave you a little bit of a hint of what they were like. This is almost like a fucking easy listening track. I mean, you know, a pop band could bring this out, couldn't they? Or an old, I think someone said under the video something to do with Elton John. You can imagine Elton John coming out with this or something like that. Why don't they just become a rock band again? The most dangerous band in the world. Do you remember that? They're not very dangerous anymore. Not even 15 years ago. They weren't dangerous, were they? And what makes it really, you know, not confusing, but it's almost like the unknown. Like I said, he's Slash playing on this. He can hardly hear a guitar anyway, so what's the fucking point of him playing? He might do a solo in a minute. But is he playing on this? Who is playing on this? What's been re-recorded? It's all a little bit unsure. I mean, I haven't looked into it that much, to tell you the truth, to see exactly the details of it. Maybe I should. Maybe that's my fault. But I'm just here to react to the new song. I just don't like the song. It just doesn't do anything for me. I will probably never, ever listen to this song again. And thank God it ain't 1988, because I'll be listening to the song again and again and again, because if Guns N' Roses was about then and this was on Appetite, I probably would be listening to it. But then again, it wouldn't really fit on Appetite, this, would it? It just wouldn't. I don't know, I find it a bit bland, a bit boring. There's Vamp, look, there's Axl Vamp. Come out the way. Come out the way. So yeah, it's not... You know, when you used to listen, when you first heard Guns N' Roses, you thought there's nothing else like that. You could hear this song from many artists, couldn't you? Any artist could bring out something like this. Just piano-driven pop, really, with a little bit of guitar in the background. Nothing to really shout about. Anyway, hopefully Slash is playing on this. I probably won't know anyway, even if I see him playing, because it might not be him recording it. Here we go for the rest, guys. Here we go. there will be fans that will just be happy that, you know, there's something new from Guns N' Roses. Well, it's 3 songs in 2 years. It ain't bad for them, is it? There'll be some people that are quite happy that it's just something new to listen to for Guns N' Roses. There'll be fans that are just say it's the best thing ever. You know, in complete deniability. You have got your own opinion, by the way, but that would be wrong. That would be wrong, honestly. That sounds terrible coming from me, but you know what? It's just, like I said, if any other band brought that out, if a pop band brought that out, we wouldn't listen to it, would we, us in the rock and metal fans? We wouldn't even bother. We'd go, oh, what's that shit? Because it's Guns N' Roses, there'll be people there that are saying it's amazing. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. In all seriousness, you know, even though Axl's voice gets on my nerves, he sounds all right on this. He sounds no different than he did way back then, but obviously this is a long time ago. And the studio as well, you know. I mean, the Dokken song, I did mention in that, I really like the new Dokken song. You can tell that, you know, I've heard Don Dokken live and it's bad. And then you go in the studio and you make it listenable. You got the time, you know what I mean? You're not running out of breath every 5 seconds, but you can't sing. So you've got the time to do stuff like that in the studio. So I can't remember what Axl sounded like 15 years ago. I know it weren't all that. So you probably, you know, you can take your time in the studio, can't you? You can sing one line at a time. You can do whatever you like. So it's a bit of an unknown, really, isn't it? This song altogether, it's like, it's a strange one. It really is. So I just didn't like the song. You know, I'm happy for all the Guns N' Roses fans that have got something new. I'm happy for them. It's not good enough, though. It's just not good enough. You know, there should be, I mean, Axl Slash writes songs in his own band. You know, he's a pretty good song, although I don't even get on with that stuff, really, even with Miles Kennedy. I prefer Alter Bridge and Tremonti and stuff like that than the Slash stuff. But he still can write lots of songs, so maybe you should start writing some Guns N' Roses stuff. I mean, imagine how much it would sell. Imagine the hype. Look what happened to the Metallica album, you know, this year. Massive hype. You know, I'm sure they have massive, or not saying sales, but, you know, streams or whatever. The internet would be all over the new Guns N' Roses album. And they can't say they haven't got time to do it. Fucking hell. Anyway, guys, what do you think of the new Guns N' Roses song? Perhaps I'm a little bit hard on them because, you know, sometimes it's just not good enough. I know a lot of bands leave a lot of time between records sometimes, but fuck me, that's just ridiculous. Let me know, guys, what you think of Perhaps in the comments below, and I'll see you soon.